Hey guys, it's Myriam and welcome back to another video. So you may have noticed that I didn't have a video up last week, and that's because I'm drowning in boxes and packaging. I am moving in 2 days, moving flats, and so it's kind of taken over my life and it's the priority right now. So I didn't really have the time to put a video together last week, but hopefully if you're watching this it means that I managed to find the time to do it this week. So in this video I want to do a little tour of my recently completed sketchbook. This I started in March I think and finished in July, so it's about 5 months worth of work. But before we jump into it, I wanted to let you guys know that if you're interested in seeing those sketches up close and personal, I have high-res PDF scans of each and every one of those drawings on my Patreon. They're available every month to all tiers, and you just get to see my drawings up close. You can also, for a slightly higher tier, you can also get a monthly postcard of one of the sketches. I have been asked in the past if I could do prints of my sketches, but I can't do that at the minute, so I offer them as Patreon rewards if you guys are interested. And then finally, my last bit of Patreon related news. I'm sorry, I'm nearly there, please bear with me for one more second. I just released publicly, which means it's now free and available to everyone to download, a process PDF. It was one of my first process PDFs on Patreon, and I basically show you all my reference images, all my sketches, step-by-step photos, and just descriptions and explanation of what I did for a painting. And I decided to release my Golem process PDF in full to everyone so that people can see a little bit of the kind of content I offer on my Patreon. So if you guys are interested in that, you can check it out in the description below. It probably won't happen again for quite a while, so I'd love to know if you enjoy that content. But anyway, time to jump into the sketchbook. I suspect it'll be quite a long video because there are 60 odd sketches in this sketchbook, and as you know me, I like to babble and I just can't seem to stop myself, so let's just jump into it. Okay, so let's do this. It's really windy outside, by the way, and the neighbours' kids are playing in their garden, so they're being quite shouty, so I hope that doesn't create too much background noise, by the way. I'm sorry if it does. So this sketchbook was a really cheap sketchbook. I think it cost me about £5 or like £6 or something, and I picked it up in WHSmith, and for those of you who aren't from England, it's just kind of a basic stationery kind of shop. They don't specialise in art supplies, but they had this sketchbook when I popped in and I thought I'd give it a go. So it's mixed media, and it has 250 GSM paper, which is really quite thick and really quite nice actually. It has 30 sheets. I drew on every single side of each page. It's A4, acid free, all the good stuff. So initially, my favourite sketchbook is the Dalirani Graduate, and that paper, although it isn't 250 GSM, I think it's 180 or 160, so quite a bit thinner than this sketchbook, but it's slightly creamy in colour, off-white, and this one is quite stark white. It's not quite cartridge white, but it is still a lot whiter than I'm used to, and I thought that was a bit jarring when I first started working in it, but I got used to it pretty quickly, and I think I kind of really enjoyed that sketchbook. So like I said, I worked on both sides of each page, and it'll be a bit tedious if I keep switching the sketchbook around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the sketches on this side of the sketchbook, and then I'll flip it around once I'm done and show you the other side. So that means the sketches won't be chronological, but you'll still get a decent view of everything. So first page, and obviously I'm not exempt of the first page syndrome. I don't know what to do on first pages, and it's always a pressure, so I just doodled. And I came up with a few sketches that I quite like. This actually became Lost, and you can see my note taking there. And now that I'm looking at this page now, I'm like, oh, I like to revisit some of those ideas. So it's always good to look back through sketchbooks. I apologise in advance for the really cringy sound that it makes when I turn the pages. I can't really help it, unfortunately. So let's see if I can put you on a better angle. Yeah, That's a bit better. So this sketch, again, first few pages of the sketchbook, I never know really what to do, but it's a concept I like to revisit in a different way. I like the merging of the two characters together, but I'm not sure why I made him look away, or I don't know. I'd quite like to revisit that one. I'll probably be saying that a lot, by the way. If you've watched some of my other sketchbook tours, I keep saying that I want to revisit a sketch, and then I will. I have a list. I will. Very, very loose sketches of an idea that I had and would quite like to keep working on. It was quite dark and quite creepy, but I really want to revisit it. I'm not sure you can tell what the idea is on the page right now. If you can, bravo, because even I find it difficult to decipher my own sketches sometimes. A little creepy doodle. I really like texture under the skin, and I would quite like to try and paint something like that. This one I ended up not liking enough to want to paint it, but the idea of something under the skin like that really appeals to me. This sketch actually goes with an earlier sketch that I'll show you when I flip the sketchbook around, and it actually ended up being a painting, so not this one but the other version of this concept. This was an iteration, just a concept iteration, just to try and find different composition to see which one I preferred. And I did a painting, I did a full painting of this concept. I'll show it somewhere on the screen. I don't like it at all. I'm not happy with that painting at all. It wasn't done when I was in a very good state of mind either, so I think there was a lot of that going on. But I love the concept so much. I've had it in my head for so many years and I really want to paint it, but I just feel like my skills aren't quite there yet to make it to my own satisfaction. So this is definitely one of this concepts that I'll be keeping in the corner of my mind and reworking in the future. This was a sketch I did as a preparation for a colouring page that I released on my Patreon for reaching my first goal. I think it was $100 a month goal, and I released it to all my patrons, and they could download a high-res version of the line art. And I think it's an idea I actually had for Inktober, funnily enough. This one is the precursor sketch to my Adoration piece. You can see that the concept has actually changed quite a bit, but that's often how it goes. And I still really like this sketch. I think it was a little bit too passive. The character was a bit too passive for me, and so you can see that in the final painting I made the character have a more integral role in the composition. But I still really like the sketch. This is a quick painting I did on a live stream on Twitch, actually, of one of my loveliest followers on Instagram. And she's actually got her own YouTube channel, and I'll link her down below. And she's super supportive, super lovely, and really talented, and I really like her work, so definitely check her out if you can. But I was doing, and I'm still doing actually, a Draw Me Mary event where I asked everyone to send me pictures of themselves that I could possibly paint in the future. I haven't gotten around to actually doing many. I think this is the first and only one I've managed so far. But I really want to pick it up again when things slow down a little bit and paint all the beautiful selfies that people have sent me. This sketch actually goes with the page just before and the page just after. And I did a few hand drawing ideas for smaller paintings, similar to my previous series of hands I did last year, I think. And I posted them all on Patreon, and people got to vote for which one they preferred. So that probably meant that the first one I'm going to paint is the one they preferred. And once I've completed some of the paintings, I'll probably do a sticker out of it and put it up somewhere. So this sketch was my first experience in more than probably 15 years with a blending stump. I found that I had some. I'm not sure why I have some. but I did, and so I thought it would be quite fun to try them out, especially because one of my favourite creature artists is Carlos Fuente, and he is ridiculously proficient at using blending sticks for texture and highlights and all that, and I just wanted to give it a go. So this is a sketch I really like this sketch, I'll be honest. I'm really happy with it because I think the texture is just so satisfying to create with this tool. So yeah. So these are, again, idea iterations for Adoration. I did 4, I believe. So there's these 2, and then these 2, with this one, ooh, I'm sliding, with this one obviously becoming the final composition. As soon as I drew it, I knew I was going to probably go for that. Obviously, I made her naked in the final picture because, I don't know, it just worked better for the whole vulnerability thing. But yeah, I had a bunch of ideas. My patrons helped me choose which one they thought was the best one, in their opinion. And yeah, that's pretty much how I work when I'm doing it right. Because sometimes I get lazy and impatient and I don't do thumbnails, and then I often regret it. This is a quick little sketch. I think I just wanted to quickly draw something. I think the background was done with charcoal for this one. This sketch again was a random idea I had. I just wanted to draw hands, and so I just started doodling. And I liked the sketch so much in the end that it's now my new business cards. So whenever someone orders something on my shop, that's what they get as a business card. That or Wisp. I think I have 2 designs. This concept, for those of you who've seen my Surreal Art Sketchbook tour video, you may think it looks familiar because I have a very, very, very similar sketch in that sketchbook, and that's because this concept is one I really want to paint at one point or another, but I still can't seem to pinpoint the kind of composition I want, so I'm going to keep doing iterations of it until it starts to feel right. Ooh, quick sketches for phosphines. I did quick non-reference sketches just to get a quick idea of the kind of composition I wanted, and once I was vaguely happy with it, I went on to the final sketch. Well, not the final sketch, but the proper sketch of the concept. So that's this guy, and I really like the sketch for this piece. I think it has a different vibe to the final piece, but that often happens, which I always find quite interesting. This was my first ever try at a still life. I did it when I was back at my parents, and I used loads of little objects that my stepmom has lying around the house. And I tried painting from life, and it was really, really hard. And if you want to see a time-lapse of this, it'll be on my Patreon next week, I think. It's in gouache, obviously, by the way. My favourite thing at the moment. This one you may have seen in my 20-minute portrait video. Towards the end, I was trying out some brush pens, some water-soluble brush pens from Stationery Island. So this was a little portrait attempt with those pens. This one is such a pity because I do put some fixative on my drawings so they don't rub too much on the other page, because obviously I like to draw on both sides. But ironically, I sprayed fixative on this side, and I must have closed my sketchbook too quickly, and the fixative wasn't dry, and so it transferred even worse than it would have if I had left it alone, which, such a pity. Yeah. This is a preliminary study sketch for Zephyr, which I have a video of on my channel if you guys are interested. I had to get that painting done in 2 days, so the sketch is quite basic, and once I got the idea down, I just went straight onto the painting. This is another one I would really like to paint at some point. I need to revisit it because some elements of it I'm not happy with yet. but it's a pretty good rough idea of what the concept will end up being. The next few pages are going to be sketches from a life drawing session, a Blade Runner themed life drawing session. Those of you who've seen my first art vlog video will have seen some footage of this session. It was a session in a art shop in the middle of London, and they had 2 models, and we had 15 minutes for each pose to just quickly draw them. I took less than 15 minutes for each of them because I was standing in a really uncomfortable corner and I was struggling to kind of find a good position to draw, so I just kind of quickly did one pose and then I would do kind of quick little sketches of other things at the same time. They were really good models. I really enjoyed this session. It was really fun, and it was free, which can't complain. And it was in an art shop, which is a really great PR move because we all got discount codes by the end, and obviously we all bought stuff. But it was great fun. I'm gonna try and see if there's more of those sessions in London because I was so rusty when I was doing this. When I reverse the sketchbook, you'll see the very first drawing I did in this session, and it's pretty awful. I was so rusty. Plus, I am not used to drawing people in clothes, so doing that plus being rusty at life drawing, it was a whole new challenge. This was a quick sketch with no meaning because I just wanted to draw a devilish face, and I had a reference for like the top part of her body like that, and so I just kind of extended it and kind of elaborated the rest of her body just to see if I could. Really trying not to make too much noise when I turn the pages because I hate the noise of those pages creasing against the metal. This is another one that I want to paint, probably paint quite soon because I really liked the idea when I got it. Someone made me laugh by saying that this looked like Twitter. And yeah, it pretty much does, doesn't it? Especially because the birds are blue and all that. It wasn't intentional, but I can definitely see where they were coming from. And then we're nearing the end of the sketchbook, so I'm starting to relax a little bit with my sketches, being a bit quicker. This was a no pencil squash sketch, and then a quick idea iteration and a couple of studies. This was a late night drawing, and you can see that my brain does weird things when it's late at night because it's tired, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that happens to. And to be fair, I have no idea if it even means anything to me, but I really like it. I think it looks really quite funny, and I can't help but be reminded of Alice in Wonderland when I look at it, and the smoking caterpillar. But yeah, this is me overthinking, I suppose. Okay, so that was end of part of side A. And now let's go on the B side of this sketchbook. So I'm going to go in reverse chronological order now, because obviously that's a bit easier. So this was the very last sketch in this sketchbook. It's not the most original concept ever, but masks are just so much fun to paint, so much fun to draw, and I really wanted to do a giant one. So this might be the idea for a smaller painting, less complicated composition. I want to do more of those, because I always spend so much time on big pieces, but I'd quite like to be able to produce smaller ones every so often. Another set of studies from reference. I think these two are from reference, and I don't think that one is from reference, but I might be wrong. Yeah, just quick little studies. Study of a skull, of what animal I would be rather incapable of telling you. Quick sketch. And then on this side of the sketchbook you'll see a bunch of anatomy studies which you may have seen previews of in my sketching routine video. I've been trying to understand arms and legs and just specific areas of anatomy a bit better, so I do quick studies of them. and I try to remember the different names of the muscles too, because I think it's quite useful. It's tricky and exhausting, but I'm trying to do it more often because it really is beneficial, and whenever I do those studies I do feel myself evolving. This is a sketch I don't like. I think I was rushing, trying to desperately get something out that week on social media, and I think it resulted in me doing a sketch that I wasn't in tune with, and it happens. It's a good lesson. It always reminds me that I should not do things because I need to post them on social media, and just do things when they feel more natural to do. Again, back on this little life drawing session part, and this is the this was the first sketch I did of the session, and this one did take me 15 minutes because I was so rusty. I couldn't see anything properly. It was really difficult, but she was holding a Barbie doll in her hand, and I really liked the pose, but I was so rusty. It was really difficult for me to capture it and see it properly. A really rough sketching. I think it was a wind down session at the end of the day. I just wanted to do very, very quick studies. So there we go, with all the live drawing stuff just transferring onto it. This is going to be my next big painting, the one that patrons will get a print of as soon as I finish it. I really love this concept. This is not what it's going to look like in the end. I don't think the character will look anything like this. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my voice is starting to crack. But this is definitely the one I want to paint next. I think the main idea of this concept was that I wanted to paint, or not to paint, to erase her hair. So this is graphic powder, by the way. I just started using it in the sketchbook for the first time, and I really, really enjoy it. And I wanted to create this kind of halo of white hair around her face, and using graphite powder for the background seemed to be the ideal way of doing that. The earlier sketch of the one that came up a couple of seconds ago, they did not work out. I hate that sketch, but that happens. Most of the B-side of this sketchbook I really don't like very much. And this is no exception. This is what I tried doing my first attempt at using those water-soluble brush pens, and didn't work out. But that orange is so bright. I don't know if it translates on camera, but it's almost fluorescent. It's crazy. Another failed sketch, although that's an idea I would quite like to re-explore, and I think my main issue was that I had the pencil texture and the pen texture, and it kind of conflicted, and it ended up not looking like what I wanted it to look. But I'll be revisiting this idea soon. Again, some quick studies with me trying to draw the muscles over the body from memory, trying to position them properly over the anatomy of my models. Something creepy because why not? I had that idea in mind almost since Inktober, and yeah, just drew it out. This is a picture I definitely want to paint. I'm going to be doing a small painting of this one very soon, because I really like it, and I already know what colours I'm going to use, and that's quite rare generally when I plan a piece. Generally I go in a bit blind when I start painting. Another one I want to do a full painting for. I really like that one. I'll probably do that quite soonish too. You've seen that. It's my Adoration thumbnails. The start of some heart paintings that I want to do. I want to do a little series of hands, like I said, and I want to do a series of hearts too. So they didn't actually go very far because I lacked the time, but I'll be picking those up again very soon. I keep saying very soon, but what I mean by very soon is probably like before Christmas. The other ones in the series of hands. Another page of hands. This is my personal favourite concept, by the way. I can't wait to paint that one. And I think it actually came up quite high when I asked my patrons to vote for the ones they'd like. A lot of them were like, ew, no, that makes me feel weird. And it makes me feel weird too, to be honest. But I think it could look quite cool as a painting. I have no idea. I'll be absolutely honest. I don't know. I like the concept. I think mostly I wanted to try doing dramatic lighting with graphite powder, because that one is graphite powder again. But I think I rushed into it, and so the anatomy is all weird and the lighting's all weird. Yeah, it happens. Some sketches don't turn out right. It's one of those things. More anatomy studies, and I suspect the next few pages are going to be that. I think I did a bunch of leg studies and knee studies for a little while, because I was really confused with knees. I didn't quite understand the angle when we sat and things like that, or how it worked, so I watched a bunch of videos and took some notes and did some studies. I really want to do that more regularly. And then this concept really puzzles me, because I really like it. I like the idea. I don't like how I drew it, but I like the idea and I really want to revisit it in the future. It's a lot less, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels less creepy than the stuff I usually do. Which I like. I kind of like varying things a bit. It looks oddly mango-ish too, which I'm slightly puzzled by, but you know, fair enough, why not? One of my creepiest sketches to date. I'm not sure if you guys can actually understand what's going on in there, but I think the guy is basically being devoured by a massive thing behind it that's eating it with its ribs. I suspect that was a late night sketch. I think it was actually. I'm pretty sure it was. That's what happens when I don't go to bed on time. And then I had this idea of death with the cloak as part of its skin, and I just wanted to illustrate that. And this was done entirely without reference, which you can probably tell. And I think, yes, this is the last sketch, or more accurately, this is the second sketch in this sketchbook. And this is the one I showed at the beginning that I painted but didn't like the painting of, and definitely want to revisit. I love this idea and I really liked the sketch, and I'm really sad that I didn't manage to paint it properly, but I really want to try it again, so that will probably come up in the future. And yeah, keep an eye out for that one if that interests you. And anyway, I think that's it for this sketchbook. I think we're done. I think this is probably going to be quite a long video. I hope that's okay. It won't close. It won't close. That will do. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if I talk a lot about Patreon. It's just such an integral part of my business at the moment that my patrons really help me out quite a lot, and I don't think I'd still be able to be doing this if I didn't have them. So it's really, you know, I'm not trying to coerce anyone into thinking they need to support me in that way at all. It really is completely up to you, and there's absolutely no hard feelings if you never can. It's completely up to you. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's my business, so every so often it's gonna come up. But I hope you guys enjoyed this sketchbook, and that you enjoyed the video, and that I wasn't too rambly, or I know I keep apologising and you guys say I don't need to. But I can't help myself. I do feel a bit bad to kind of talk so much, but at the same time I just get passionate about my work, so it's difficult not to. Anyway, I'm doing it again. Look at that. I keep doing it. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna end here. I don't know if I managed to have a video up next week. I have run out of all my pre-recorded footage, So I don't know if I'll have the time to put anything together, but I'll definitely be back after that because my boyfriend and I should be settled into our new place. We should have bought hopefully all the furniture and just settled in and just feel at home at that point, and I should be able to go back to a normal routine. So I can't wait. I feel like my job has been put in the background for so long now, and I just have so many ideas teeming in my head, and I just want to get to painting. So I can't wait to be done with the move. I might put a studio tour together once I'm all settled in, by the way, so if you guys are interested in that, do let me know in the comments. And in the meantime, I love you all so, so much. I hope you are taking really good care of yourselves, and I'll see you around. Bye everyone.